When a woman hugs you first, your body feels it before your mind understands it. And if you brush it off as just being friendly, you might be missing a message that was meant only for you. I'm speaking to you as a psychologist, but also as a woman who has watched men misread this moment again and again. A hug is not just arms around a body, it's a decision. It's timing. It's intent wrapped in softness, and when she initiates it, something important has already happened inside her. Most men think attraction is loud words, flirting, clear signals, but female psychology doesn't always move in straight lines. Women often test emotional safety before they test desire. A first initiated hug is one of those tests. It's her asking without words. How do you hold me? How do you receive closeness? Do you tense up, pull away, dominate, or melt into the moment? Notice this. She didn't wait for you to lead. That alone matters. It means at least in that moment she felt safe. Enough to cross a boundary first. Safety is not politeness. Safety is nervous system calm. Her body decided before her mouth did. And here's the part most men miss. The hug isn't about affection alone. It's about observation. She's reading your breathing, your stillness, your restraint. She's feeling whether you rush to take more than she offered or whether you respect the exact size of the connection she opened. Women are highly sensitive to how men manage power in quiet moments. A hug is a quiet moment with a lot of power. If her hug lingers just a second longer than expected, that's not an accident. Time extension is one of the oldest nonverbal signals of emotional curiosity. She's checking whether staying feels better than leaving. If her arms are firm, not loose, she's communicating presence, not politeness. If she relaxes into your chest, she's momentarily letting go of control. That only happens when trust is already forming. But don't romanticize this into fantasy. A hug is not a promise. It's an invitation to show emotional intelligence. Many men ruin this moment by trying to escalate, tease, or turn it into a joke. That tells her you can't sit inside intimacy without performing. And performance kills mystery fast. The men who stand out are the ones who understand containment. You don't squeeze, you don't pull her closer, you simply match her energy and let the moment end naturally. That restraint signals confidence, not disinterest. It tells her you don't chase signals, you understand them. When she hugs you first, she's not saying, I want you. She's saying, I'm watching who you are. When closeness appears unexpectedly, and whether you realize it or not, your response writes a story in her mind that words never could. Here's the deeper truth. Most men are never told a woman's first hug is rarely about you alone. It's also about her past. Every woman carries a quiet memory of how closeness once felt unsafe, confusing, or overwhelming. So when she initiates physical contact, she's testing whether this moment will repeat an old wound or create a new experience. This is why the smallest details matter. Your hands, your posture, your stillness. Women don't just feel attraction in the moment, they predict the future from it. She's unconsciously asking, if I let this man close later, will I feel protected or pressured? Many men think confidence means taking control. In female psychology, true confidence is self-regulation. The man who can remain grounded while being touched is rare. If your body stiffens, she senses emotional guardedness. If your grip tightens, she senses hunger or insecurity. If you rush to speak afterward, she senses discomfort with silence. Silence, by the way, is where trust grows. After a hug, the pause matters more than the contact itself. If you don't fill the space with nervous talk, you signal emotional steadiness. Her nervous system reads that as strength. This is biology, not romance. Another detail men overlook is context. Did she hug you after sharing something personal? That's a bonding hug. Did she hug you when arriving or leaving? That's a boundary-setting hug, often meant to establish familiarity without verbal commitment. Did she hug you in front of others? That's social signaling. Women are acutely aware of how gestures look, not just how they feel. If she initiates a hug during vulnerability, she's offering comfort and seeing if you can hold emotional weight without trying to fix her. Men who respond with calm presence instead of advice are remembered. Men who try to solve are slowly removed from the emotional circle. Here's a hard truth. Some women hug first because they're checking whether attraction could grow, not because it already exists. That's not manipulation. That's discernment. She's gathering data. And the data she gathers is how you respond to closeness without entitlement. This is why chasing clarity too soon backfires. Asking, "What did that hug mean?" destroys the very safety she was exploring. Attraction deepens when a woman feels free, not interrogated. Men who demand certainty early often do so because they fear ambiguity. Women feel that fear immediately. The most powerful response is simple. Grounded warmth without expectation. You don't replay the hug. You don't bring it up. You let it exist as a moment, not a contract. That communicates abundance and emotional maturity. When a woman hugs you first, she's not inviting you to act. She's inviting you to be revealed. And whether she leans in again later depends entirely on what she sensed in those few silent seconds. Now listen carefully, because this is where most men either rise quietly or disappear without ever knowing why. A woman remembers how you made her feel in her body far longer than what you said to her mind. When she hugs you first, her body is asking a question your mouth should not answer. What she's feeling for is regulation, emotional adulthood. Can you stay present without grasping? Can you enjoy closeness without needing to own it? Many men confuse desire with possession. Women feel the difference instantly. Here's something uncomfortable but true. If a woman senses that a hug feeds your ego more than your awareness, her attraction contracts, not because you did something wrong, but because you revealed a need she didn't consent to carry. Female psychology is deeply attuned to emotional load. A hug is light. When you make it heavy, she steps back. This is why the aftermath matters more than the contact. Do you treat her differently afterward? Do you become warmer but tighter? More attentive but more anxious? She notices the shift. Consistency is safety. Sudden intensity feels like obligation forming, and obligation suffocates desire. A man who understands this stays the same man after the hug, calm, centered, curious, but not clinging. He lets her come toward him again if she chooses. That freedom is what allows attraction to grow without pressure. Another truth most men aren't prepared for. Sometimes a hug is a closing gesture, not an opening one. Some women hug first to soften distance, not reduce it. It can be a way of saying goodbye to an idea without words. If you chase after that hug, you reverse its purpose. If you respect it, you leave with dignity intact. Men who do well in dating aren't the ones who decode every signal perfectly. They're the ones who don't collapse emotionally when a signal is ambiguous. Emotional resilience is magnetic. Desperation is loud, even when silent. And let's talk about masculine containment. When you can experience warmth without needing to escalate to touch, sex, or validation, you signal inner fullness. Women are drawn to men who don't leak need through their behavior. That doesn't mean being cold, it means being solid. A hug initiated by her is not a green light, it's a mirror. It reflects how you handle intimacy in its earliest, most delicate form. Do you rush forward, freeze, or remain steady? That answer shapes her next move more than any line you could say. The irony is this: the men who get hugged again are the ones who don't act like the hug meant something more than it was. They allow meaning to emerge naturally. They trust time. They trust themselves. And when a woman feels that kind of grounded presence, she doesn't need to test as much. She leans in again, not because you pursued, but because you didn't. So, let me leave you with the truth. Beneath all of this, the one most men never hear spoken out loud, a woman's first hug is less about chemistry and more about character. It's her nervous system brushing up against yours and asking, can I relax here or do I need to stay alert? Women don't fall for men who chase moments. They fall for men who can hold moments without trying to control the outcome. That ability signals leadership at the emotional level, not dominance, not strategy, leadership. The kind that says, I am comfortable with closeness and I am equally comfortable without it. When you understand this, you stop overanalyzing every touch. You stop replaying the hug in your head. You stop tying your worth to whether she does it again. And that inner shift changes how women experience you entirely. Because here's the paradox. The less you need the hug to mean something, the more likely it becomes that it eventually will. Emotional self-sufficiency is deeply attractive. It tells her you're not asking her to regulate your emotions for you. You're inviting her to share space, not carry weight. This is why mature attraction feels calm, not chaotic. When a woman hugs you first and senses that you don't rush to assign meaning, she feels free. Freedom is the soil where desire grows. Pressure kills it at the root. And yes, sometimes you'll misread a hug. Sometimes it truly is just warmth, kindness, or closure. A grounded man accepts that without resentment. He doesn't harden. He doesn't withdraw. He doesn't turn cold. He remains himself. That consistency leaves an impression far deeper than any dramatic reaction ever could. If you take one thing from this, let it be this. Intimacy is not something to seize. It's something to be invited into, and invitations are extended only to those who feel safe, steady, and whole on their own. So the next time a woman hugs you first, don't ask yourself, what does this mean for me? Ask yourself, who am I being in this moment? Because the answer to that question is what she's really responding to. Now, I want to hear from you. Think about the last time a woman initiated physical closeness with you. Did you feel calm, or did you feel the urge to do something immediately? Comment below with this equation and complete it honestly. Closeness plus my reaction. If this message gave you clarity you've never heard before, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share this with a friend who needs to understand female psychology at a deeper,